Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired, be encouraged, be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yater.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach Kim Yater, and sitting behind me is one of the most special men in the entire universe. This is my Uncle Donald. And I have to say, I have the honor and privilege of sitting here with him today, Uncle Donald, in absolute honor. I was raised by this man. You know, my mom and dad raised me, but Uncle Donald was also my dad in so many ways. And we both have the same love for his mama, my grandma. So, Uncle Donald, I'm so excited that I get to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Okay, so you and I have had some rich conversations, and you had so much wisdom in these conversations. And I was like, oh my gosh, the people need to know, the people need to hear. So, Uncle Donald, let's first set the stage. You were born in what year and how old are you?
I was born January 2nd, 1932, at the end of the Depression.
Wow. 1932 at the end of the Depression. So that makes you how old?
Right now, I'm 94, and I'm going on 94 January.
And your goal is to live to at least 100, correct?
I pray to God for that.
That's right. And so if anyone's picking up on the accent, I grew up in New Bedford, Massachusetts with Uncle Donald. And so there's a strong East Coast accent here. So you might even find, although I've been out of the East Coast from quite some time, that sometimes, Uncle Donald, I start parking my car in Harvard Yard, right?
Yeah, we all got it back.
That's right. So you and I were talking the other day, Uncle Donald, there's so much happening in the world, from um, everything that you experienced through the Great Depression to the current day, 2026. I want you to take us back to the time period of the Great Depression. What was that like for you? How old were you in that time?
Well, I was born in that time. I was 1 year old, I imagine. I was just a baby.
Yeah.
And I grew up with it, and I watched my mother go without a lot of things because we couldn't afford it. And she used to cook on the kerosene with small stove with an oven on top of it. And those are the things that I remember all the time. The hardship.
It didn't just stop there when you were 1, 2, 3 years old. That hardship went on for some time. Is that correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you took on a responsibility. You were not, nowadays, when a young man and a young woman is raised by the mom and dad, very often they leave the house, right? So they don't normally come back, take over businesses. They leave the house. But for you and your generation, you decided to stay, to plant your feet, to help your mom and dad get ahead with business and life.
Right. My father saved money to buy a piece of land, and he bought the land, and then we sold part of the land and bought cement blocks to make the foundation on the house. And after we got the foundation, he was able to go get a GI loan for 3%. And we built the house.
This house that we're in right now.
Right.
That's amazing. So Do you ever think that you would be in the same house that you built and created with your dad?
Yeah. And all these years, my mother and father worked hard to get it. I stood alongside them. And I got a job in a shoe factory making shoes, and my father needed help. I took an absence leave and helped my father. It was like God sent, because when I went back after, the place was going to close the business. So I had a job with my father the rest of my life.
Wow. And you're known, your company, Grandpa's company,
Yeah,
became known as Cape Cod Wrought Iron Fence. And
yeah,
you fenced, some of the most amazing properties in New Bedford and the surrounding areas. And,
yeah.
this is kind of the old whaling city.
We always had to work. Then we added different things to the business, kept us going. We made weather vanes, did some ornamental castings, eagles and stuff like that. So, and
Uncle Donald, I remember we'd sit around the table and we'd have coffee or we'd have soup with grandma and we'd have our
Yeah.
milk crackers or
Yeah.
tea, right?
yeah,
And I remember you would say to me, always have a trade. You can
Yeah.
always have a trade to fall back on.
mm,
In today's society, the schools aren't set up like vocational schools. So, what would you say would be the advice to people right now when it comes to having a trade?
well, right now our president is thinking the same thing we should talking about. He thinks that some of all that money is going to the wrong places. It should be going to teach kids a trade. There's not enough people out there that want to work, and you need a trade to stay survive. You put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
We can't all be bookkeepers.
That's right. That's right. And it's funny because President Trump would call that common sense.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Why do you think we lost connection with that?
I have no idea, but it's the truth. Common sense will get things done.
Mm-hmm. So you going back, not only did you help support mom and dad and Cape Cod Wrought Iron Fence, you were drafted into the Korean War.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Yeah.
that. What was that like? How old were
Yeah.
you?
Just turned 20. It just moved in the house and lived in the house only about a week and a half. And I got drafted. And I went to, I can't remember the name of the place, Indian Town Gap, Pennsylvania, and took my training. And then they sent me to Korea. I got wounded in Korea. They sent me to Japan to recuperate. I ended up staying there, working on our Western recuperation, what they call and I finished my time there. I enjoyed being there too. It was very nice.
The people were nice there,
Yeah,
weren't they?
yeah. Japanese people, but they were sweet.
And you received the Purple Heart.
Yeah, I got the purple.
You did.
Yeah.
You have an amazing heart. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, Uncle Donald, I don't know if you've ever been acknowledged for that Purple Heart and for serving our country. And I'm sure the military did the best they could with what they had. I want you to
Oh.
know that I'm so grateful for you. I tell people often,
Well, so many people that got wounded, and so many people that never came back. They never got a purple heart. They're still somewhere out there.
mhm, what does that mean to you? The fact that you were given a Purple Heart and you're still alive.
I appreciate whatever they did to help me. And they still help me right now. They're all helping me.
the veterans, the military,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a veteran,
Yeah,
you are being supported and
Yeah,
helped right now,
yeah.
which is incredible.
yeah.
And we're so grateful for that support. Well, Uncle Donald, can I just tell you that I'm grateful that you fought for my freedom
Thank you.
so that I could have children and not be worried about my freedom?
Yeah, there's no sense in any war. It's all money that creates it. We don't need anything. All we need is each other. That's it.
War doesn't create each other, does it?
No, it separates people.
So what do we do in the midst of a open border invasion? What do we do in the midst of treason with leaders that were in place that were selling our information to China or sold out by China? What do we do with stolen elections? What do we do with Texas and Miami, Florida, and Massachusetts, and all of these states that are bringing the Muslim communities in as leaders who want to implement Sharia law? What do we do with all of that, Uncle Donald? If we don't want war, it's not like the war is outside, but and yes, there is war right now. You know, we're in the Strait of Hormuz, we're at war with Iran right now, but we're in war in our own country. Our own country is like a Trojan horse.
Well, we created it. We give too much. You give, and nobody gives then back to you. They just take, and that's what's happening. They take it everything. They don't stop taking. They want more and more for the. They don't want to work for, like all the Americans work to keep the country.
They want everything free.
Yeah.
Our taxes pay for all of those things. You know, it's funny. There's a couple of big family service programs here, and billions of dollars in Massachusetts go to those family services. They fund LGBT communities. They make sure people have all the psychological treatment needed. Once Medi-Cal pays for their sexual transition into a different sex, going from female to male or male to female, right? And so there's all of our taxpayer money that's going to fund Muslims. And Uncle Donald, did you know that for every 2 children born of an American family, there are 10 children born in the United States to a Muslim family? Do you know in the next 10 years, if that occurs, the white population is being wiped out and the Muslim population is infiltrating America? Soon we will be a Muslim nation.
Well, we're doing it ourselves by giving. That's what I mean. We're giving too much. That's why they come here.
So what do we do? How do we take our power back?
You stop giving.
Mhm.
You don't give. And they'll leave. They got to eat too. You can't have food unless they work for it. Well, if they plant it themselves, then we're not going to give them the land to do it on. There's got to be a change, and we can't wait too long to change it.
If you were sitting down with President Trump right now and he said, Donald, you're 94 years old. You've lived a good life. You have been an entrepreneur. You've been a business owner. You raised a family. You've got grandchildren. You've got great grandchildren, possibly. What would you advise to me right now for America? How can we take the power back in America?
Well, the people that are working don't realize what's going on. Got to be a way to let them know. They're too busy working. They don't want to have no interest in what's going on. And there's got to be a way to give them knowledge, either through their boxes, give them brochures when they get their check or something. It'll wake them up. Else they won't be working at all. Somebody's going to be taking their place.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. That's, it's funny when you say that. I remember, being in the workplace, and I remember receiving my check with my pay stub, right? And now, of course, everything is, direct deposit when I'm getting paid for business. Um, but there's something to say about that, because when a politician is running for office, they send out mailers often. And of course, there's a percentage that they're relying upon that will see it and respond to it, right? So that's actually pretty creative that when somebody gets their paycheck, that every business owner is responsible for passing over information, a flyer, whatever that is, so that the people are awake. Because I think you said it straight, is most people are unaware. And the Bible says people die for lack of knowledge.
You, they gotta wake up.
You got to wake up.
Too busy worrying what about living. And then you're gonna live if they don't get it off their butts
Mhm.
and do something.
Wise, wise words. Well, let me ask you this. Let's transition for a second. We're going to come back to this. What is some of your best memories? You said that I don't believe in war, and yet you fought.
Well, because I live here. It's my country where I was born and brought up. It's another thing that people are getting in now. They don't know the country. They wasn't born here. So they should be able to get political operation. They gotta be born in order to know all about the country. They can't just come here and think they know it all.
Right. It is kind of cool, Uncle Donald. Like more recently, not more recently, but for years, when someone goes through the legal immigration process, they have to study about the country. They go through courses, they learn about the country. So many of those legal immigrants that built businesses here, that lived the American dream here, they are so grateful for America. They love America. And when they see that what's come into the country are these people that have come over on asylum by an open Biden border, right? They are like, these people don't love our country. They don't even know the history of our country.
That's what I mean when they come in for receiving, because they know that we give. We've got a good heart. We help everybody. We go overseas to fight for them. We do a lot for everybody, but nobody cares about us in the end. They want what we have.
So is it time that America starts taking their power back and we start first taking care of our own home before we try to take care of everybody else's home?
That's right. That's what we should do. We should have more of the other people that we help want to help us too. So we can help each other. And you won't have all these people who want to take over things.
Yeah. They say that it will take at least 120 years to send the illegal immigrants out of the country because of the mass influx and because we don't have the infrastructure to do that. So what the heck do we do, Uncle Donald?
120 years, there won't be enough food to feed them. They ain't gonna be doing nothing. Just worrying about eating. Don't mind fighting. You gotta learn how to make things and get things done. We got the land, plan on it. Do things, find out how to grow things better. Teach the kids how to grow things. They don't know how to grow nothing. All they know is how to go to the store and buy it.
Are you talking about illegal immigrants or are you talking about United States citizens?
Everybody.
Everybody. We're basically we've become part of the system, right? Reliant upon the system, right? The government's going to take care of us. We can go to the store to get water. We can go to the store to get food. But what happens when we can't? When the crop, we don't have enough crops to feed everybody. We don't have enough water to go around. We already have all these water issues happening. We've got all these, you know,
Well, that's where the education comes in when it comes to finding a job, working with your hands, making things, you create things. You find ways to do things. You'll get things done. You know, there's water on the ground, you'll dig until you get it. If it's not there, well, then you'll know you have to go move on to something else. You have to find a way. You'll find a ways now how to take it out of the air, get the water out of the air. So they're getting creative. That's what you need, more creation. You know?
that's powerful. That's really powerful. So, I have a vision of having, and you and I talked about this the other day, like having a big piece of property,
Yeah,
lots of trees,
Yeah.
water close by, and having enough property where we can till the soil, grow, we can
Yeah.
have our families all live together.
yeah, raise a family together. But who can afford the properties the way the rates are going right now? Even after you got it, you don't own it if you can't pay the taxes. They take it away from you, even after it's paid for. If you paid it. So you paid all those years for what? So everything's gonna be rental. That's what it's gonna be. And the money's gonna go back to the
Mhm,
cities and towns.
mhm.
You ain't gonna really own nothing. You're gonna be renting everything.
Well, was it George Soros? Was it Yuval Noah Harari? Who said you'll own nothing and be happy about it? I believe that was George Soros.
It takes the incentives to want to work.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
yeah.
And that's why these kids are getting that way. Why should I work? I'll never own it.
They're discouraged. They're kind of hopeless. And then they look at their parents and they look at their grandparents, right? And they see the results. Some are well off. Some have been able to, leave money for generations to come, but the majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. You have all these politicians talking about the increase in gas and the price of eggs and all of these things. I mean, this is always the issue. We want to make sure that we we don't live to work, but we work to live,
Yeah.
right? And we have what we need and we can spend time together. Some of my greatest memories where you would work your job, you'd work hard, and then you'd come in at 4 o'clock for dinner. Your dinner would be ready at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And
right.
and then we'd sit, we'd eat, we'd talk, we'd have tea and crackers afterwards, milk crackers for those days.
Yeah.
We'd laugh at the days to come. Those were like some of my most special memories.
Yeah. Well, today they got a phone in their hand. That's about it. Communicate. It's all words.
Yeah. Yeah. You asked me a little while ago if about college and what I studied, and we were talking about that. And being a communication arts major, there was a study done by Durkheim years ago, and he said that the more technology increased, the more people would become desensitized and isolated.
Mhm.
So we've seen that with the growth of technology. I mean, there's some great things with technology, but the reality is, in so many ways, we've lost connection with the earth, with nature, with one another, with the relationships and connecting.
It's another thing. We take a lot from the earth and we don't put nothing back. We just take. We're on the receiving end too.
Mhm.
What's going to happen when you can't get something? You can't put it back to get more. Like the trees, all the fires that are going on right now. How about all the lumber guys that go in there and cut all the trees down beside? Before you know it, your air, you can't breathe. That's what's happening. It's a shame how they let everything go, all for money. Help this one, help that one, and who knows where all the rest of the money goes.
Who knows where all the rest of the money goes? And you've been paying attention to fraud, waste, and abuse and everything getting exposed
Yeah.
on the news. What's that like for you to turn the TV on, to see the news and go, oh my gosh,
But
correct?
you don't see nobody paying and going to jail for it.
Bingo.
They postpone everything. They'll postpone it so you can't remember who they were.
Why do you think that's happening? Why is nobody being
It
convicted
goes
and
back.
prosecuted?
It goes back to the pocket.
Money, money, money.
Money, money, money. That's it. We don't live to enjoy life. We don't. There's no enjoyment no more. You could go fishing one time, you didn't have to have a license. Huh. You could do a lot of things. You didn't need a license. You got a tax for everything, or a license for
The
everything.
restrictions. We were sitting
Yeah.
we were sitting in Buzzards Bay the other day, and my mom and I, sat and had some fried clams, which are amazing, full bellies, highly recommend them. And we sat down with some fishermen, and they were telling us all the restrictions of where you can, where you can't, what size the fish, and if it's like this, if it's this size, it has to be thrown back in. You can only have one. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these restrictions. It's
The price goes up.
yeah, it's crazy. So we want to protect the fish, we want to protect the land, but we also need to create workability,
It's,
right? And I think that, going back to the beginning of our conversation, we cannot be funding and feeding all of these hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants that have crossed the borders. And my heart goes out to people because I love people. But the reality is, one, get the criminals out. We've seen those that have been murderers. We see Venezuela releasing their prisons. Those guys all need to go back. But the reality is, maybe we need to help put people in positions in those countries that can govern in a way that's going to help the people to go back to their countries, to create workability, because we can't take care of everybody. We've got to take care of ourselves first. And the reality is, if stuff goes down, if there's a lack of water, if there's a lack of food, do you think there's not going to be a revolution?
it's gonna happen. You can't stop it. And it's heading that way too.
When was the last time we had a revolution, Uncle Donald?
I don't know. I don't go back that far.
It's a long time ago. A long time ago. But the reality is this, not that I'm calling for revolution. We, the people, must remember who we are and whose we are. Remember how Jesus says, you will do even greater things than me?
Yeah.
And in the Bible calls for, God says, if my people who are called by my name will seek my face, humble themselves, pray, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice, forgive their sins, and heal their land. This country, America, was founded on those principles, God's principles, right? The Bible's principles. And we've become this melting pot where everybody comes in, but we've forgotten who we are. When a person loses their identity, it's the ship without a rudder. When a country loses its identity, anything will rise up. And I think that's why we're seeing the rise of Sharia, the rise of Muslim, because these guys know their identity. It's not the same God we serve, that's for sure. but they are strong in their identity and their beliefs, therefore, and they are united in that, and they're rising up and they're taking territory.
Well, they got a better way of brainwashing. They got a better way. They hide under everything. You don't see their faces. You never see them. You hide.
They hide.
You know, they got a different way of looking at things.
Yes.
You don't see me, I'll do what I want to you.
I think we're called the infidels,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there's no way to do it. You gotta sacrifice them. Quite a few of them, get rid of them. You gotta put a fear back in them. They're putting the fear back in us. We're getting the fear, not them.
It's Uncle Donald, it's so tough because we, as Americans, we want to be kind. We want to be accepting.
Well,
We want to be loving. We want to share.
We are kind. It would be here for us if we weren't that kind. But we gotta change. We can't be kind to certain people that don't want to our beliefs. They want just their beliefs. They don't want to believe us. There's only one God that they gotta believe, and that's the real God. He's gonna do everything for you. He'll take care of everything. He'll put us where we belong. We'll all wake up too late.
That's the concern, that we'll all wake up too late. So I think the call to action is that America wake up, that America has the knowledge, that the people have the knowledge of what's really happening in their countries, I'm sorry, forgive me, in their counties, in their cities, and in their states. You know, it's funny, there's this victim mentality that I see common, and the victim mentality is, oh, there's this Muslim, there's this, this mayor who is, she's LGBT supporter, and she herself is, is gay, and now she is making friends with all the Muslims, here in the state of Massachusetts, and she's allowing them to, have giving them jobs, but the thing is this, Uncle Donald, what are the people doing to go to the board of supervisors? What are they doing in their own communities to say, no, this is not okay? The mayor works for us. We put that mayor in place. She needs to listen to the voice of the people. What is it going to take for the people to take their power back rather than just being the victim of, oh, the mayor is doing this, not realizing that they actually can do something?
So when you go to work, you tell your boss, put me down for 10 dependents if you only got one.
That's awesome. So put me down for 10 dependents. They get 10. I've only got 2 here, but if they can have 10 children and I'm paying for it, put me down for 10 dependents. That's good. That's good. Wow. Wow. Is there anything else today, before we transition conversation, anything else that you want?
There are just peace. I like to see everybody happy. No arguing, no bittering, no finding faults with one another. We're all the same. We all have problems. We make our own problems. And we got to cure our own problems by ourselves. Nobody's going to do it for you. Let's love one another more.
You heard the words. This is wisdom. Rather than sending our elders to the nursing homes, silencing them, Fauci, you can't see your loved ones during COVID, can't see those in the nursing homes. Rather than silencing the elders, there's so much wisdom, so much wisdom.
Common sense. That's all it is. Like our president says, He's the one that gave us the knowledge to wake up. He's right on top of things. Yeah.
Uncle Donald,
I wish we could keep him.
I wish we could keep him. President Trump. So, President Trump, this is a message from you from Donald Betancourt, my Uncle Donald. Uncle Donald, what's your message to President Trump?
Keep doing what you're doing. Do it the right way, like you're doing it. You made your millions. You know how to save us all. You know how to do it. It takes money, I know, to do everything. That's what this life is all about. We gotta change this world to take care of ourselves. We don't take care of ourselves. We depend on everything. I even depend on my check at the end of the month. That's what I live off.
I love you.
Thank you.
This is my Uncle Donald. He's the best in the West. Thanks. Uncle Donald, I love you so much.
I know you do. You wouldn't be here wasting your time with me. I understand everything you do. I hope you have a better future. You know, we all need a better future. Something to be proud of being here in America. The only way we're going to be here is to keep doing what you're doing the right way. And that's the way to live the right way. I wish I had education too, but I don't think I would know what I know. I would absorb it as much. And I want to thank her for telling me that. Thank you.
We've been having some amazing time digging into God's word together. And I'm so grateful for the people that taught me and that Jesus continues to teach me and I get to share that. And so we've been digging in and having rich conversations. And then we've been watching The Chosen. Is The Chosen good?
Yeah, it brings you back the way it should be.
Yes. I think it's a plug for The Chosen. Everybody needs to watch The Chosen. We've been binging The Chosen, and then we pause it, and then I'll give Uncle Donald some history, walk him through the teaching, like why they're teaching that or what's really happening and why it's happening. And it's been so incredible. You've given me a gift, an incredible gift. You know, I was asleep 2 weeks ago. It was the middle of the night. And I was in Florida visiting my children and my grandbabies. And God woke me up in the middle of the night with this flash of Uncle Donald's face. And I felt it right in my chest. This deep sense of urgency that I need to get to Uncle Donald. I need to just be with Uncle Donald. God knows what our heart needs. And so I booked a flight and I said, I'm coming home. And we've had just about every single day we've been able to be together
Oh,
for a whole week, which is not enough.
you know, I'm glad I'm still here to be able to talk to you.
Me too.
Oh, my back is killing me.
All right. With that being said, I'm going to massage his back for a little bit.
Thank you.
And oh yeah, it's the leaning forward. So Uncle Donald, we're gonna say bye. We're gonna say bye for now. We love you guys. God bless you. And remember, the power is in your hands. God has given us everything we need to take our power back. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for all of you who are fighting the fight. And Father, thank you for being with us right now, giving Uncle Donald and I this time. And Uncle Donald, thank you for all of your sacrifice, your love, and for giving us wisdom and discernment today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We love you guys. God bless you. We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.